Hello, welcome to the Biz Talk Live Show. We are so glad to have you with us this Thursday. I am your host, Shanté R. Roddy, and we have a special topic that we're discussing today, which is the rise of the Black women entrepreneurs. And we have some fabulous Black women entrepreneurs here with us today. So this is part two. So last month we had the first part of it, and it was so good that we wanted to extend it. So I'm very appreciative and thankful for these ladies for coming back with us today to continue the discussion. So come on in, have a seat, hit the love button, drop a comment, let us know that you're here. If you missed the live, please do come back for the replay. Please do also share this out to other women that you know need to hear all of the wonderful information that we'll be sharing today. Okay, so with that said, I want to introduce our two guests. We may have another one on during the show, but we have Annette. Hi, Annette.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Hi, can you introduce yourself for our guests, for our
Hi.
audience?
I am Annette the Go Getter Morris. The name of my business is Go Getter LLC. I am a business coach and a mental health coach as well. I pretty much, my population is women. So I help women to identify their passion and how to monetize from their passion. So we develop their passion into a thriving business. Also offer mental health coaching for those that don't necessarily want to go into entrepreneurship, but definitely need assistance with kind of getting their mind balanced. So those are some of the services that we offer. That's pretty much it about me.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, I love the fact that you help take a woman from her passion and developing that into a full-blown business, right?
Yes,
Where she
yes,
can create impact and income. So that's a wonderful thing. Okay,
absolutely.
Avalaura. Hi.
Hey, thank you for having me once again. I am
Yes.
Avalaura, your life coach and intuitive consultant, also a speaker. I'm the CEO of Avalaura's Healing Center. I'm here in College Park area, College Park, Maryland, in the DMV. My clients are worldwide, and I'm really excited to be here and just share my journey and talk about entrepreneurship. A lot of my clients are now those who have a 9-to-5 and are looking to transition, or just wanting to have that side hustle, right? Because we live in a economy and in a world where just because you have a great 6-figure job doesn't mean that it's promised to you tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I'm really glad that we're talking about this because there are so many, particularly Black women entrepreneurs right now. And a lot of the work that I do is help, people who are just like me, high strung, high achievers, overperformer, perfectionists, who really want to make an impact, who want to make a difference in the world, but for whatever reason, we're unfulfilled in one or more areas of our life. That could be our business, it could be our career, it could be our relationships. It could just be, I'm just trying to figure out who I am and live in that place of passion and purpose. So I really help my clients to get clarity around those things, and I help them from whole to wholeness and be able to live the life that they truly want to live. How that looks like for them, so not how I think it should be or how somebody else should be or their mama, but how they want their life to be, and really helping them to strategize and get over the hurdles and the humps and everything that's holding them back so that they can live from that place in their life.
I love it. Okay, so these are some phenomenal women here. They're very, very busy. We were talking before we came on air about all the great things that we have going on. So these are some very productive and successful ladies. And so I know that they can provide some wisdom for all of us as we are looking to pursue business opportunities, initiatives, right? And to launch and scale our businesses. So let's start with the side hustle, because I just want to just clarify for the audience something that we mentioned before and you just brought up again, is how Black women are really leading the way for entrepreneurship. Like, we are the fastest growing population, and between 2007 and 2018 we grew 164%.
Mhm.
we grew 164%. So that's fast growing, right?
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the side hustle because I was doing some research and looking at some studies about the Black woman entrepreneur and what is really creating this fast growth amongst Black women entrepreneurs. And we had some of this discussion the last time about, equity in the workplace, flexibility to live the life we want, to be able to take care of our families, to really take ownership and be able to dictate our compensation, and providing a path for us to really be able to make an impact in the world without limits. And a big part of when we look at that from that perspective and what's driving women to entrepreneurship, a lot of times they're not taking the path of creating this big conglomerate, right? Business model is really, how can I bring more income into my household so that I can be the provider provide for my family, because we're providing for so many. Some of us are taking care of sisters and brothers and cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents, right? And parents. And so it's really using our gift, finding ways to bring additional income streams. And sometimes we don't really think about the legacy building piece. It's more of the side hustle. Let me build this up because, obviously corporate is not giving me everything that I need. I need to supplement. And so I'm a bootstrap it, which is great to have. But I don't think we want to stay in the side hustle mode. So I just wanted to talk to you ladies about the side hustle, what is really fostering the entrepreneurship, and then how we can move past the side hustle to the actual legacy building.
I think a lot of it happens. I'll use, for example, myself. Prior to me in this business to a full-time business and scaling it up, I was a full-time therapist. So my background is in mental health counseling. So I was a therapist, but as a therapist, we all know that therapists don't get paid a lot of money. And with a master's degree, I was only in the $40,000 to $50,000 range. And in reality, you can hardly eat off $40,000 to $50,000 a year. I had children in private school, all this other type stuff. So it just $40,000, $50,000 just wasn't enough to survive. So I started doing things that I knew how to do. And it started out as a side hustle, just because I knew how to develop a profit organization. So people were calling me, for that or whatever. And I started out doing that and started doing some consulting work for other behavioral health agencies, that type of thing. And it started out as a side hustle because I needed to compensate for where I was lacking from my salary. But I always knew that I wasn't going to be a full-time therapist all of my life. So when I got into this as a side hustle, I realized I liked it way more than actually being a therapist, right? And I'm like, oh, wait, I love this. I love this coaching people. I went back and got a certification as a life coach. I love coaching way more than I love counseling because, counseling, you're really just working with mental illness. You're not working to make people address people that are mentally well, that just need some guidance or whatever. You're really working with those that are mentally ill. And it's challenging. It's a challenging profession because I worked a lot with families and children. So it allowed me more flexibility. As a therapist, I was on a job full time in an office. I have an elderly mom. I have children, all of that I'm responsible for. So when my mom has doctor's appointments, I have to beg the boss, can I take a few minutes off to bring my mom to the doctor? And, all that type stuff or whatever that you do when you're working. And if they have issues, then I have to between my mom living and going to the doctor or doing your job, or whatever. And I just felt like that wasn't a choice because I'm going to do what I have to do with my mom. So it's just kind of hard when you're working for somebody within those time restraints. So I like the flexibility of entrepreneurship. I liked everything that I was able to offer in my side hustle. So I just, at some point, I didn't do it voluntarily. Don't let me lie. God called me off the job to do what I was doing full time. And when I answered the call, I was like, oh, this can be a full-fledged business, and God just kind of helped me to flourish it as a full-fledged business as opposed to a side hustle. But definitely, I just don't think that we realize the potential of side hustles, which is why a lot of us don't go into it full time. And then also there's comfort in working for somebody, just knowing my payday is going to be every other Friday, as opposed to entrepreneurship. Like, I don't know when my payday going to be, but I have to hustle to make sure I get a payday. So that's why a lot of people will keep it as a side hustle, because of fear. Fear just kind of keeps us trapped in certain things. And then the comfort of every other week paycheck, that type of thing. But definitely once we grow into the knowledge of a side hustle can be a full-time business and leave legacy for our kids and our families and grandkids or whatever. And then we start to come into awareness of how to grow this for a fully thriving business. I think that's when a lot of people really step into it full-time, as opposed to leaving it as a side hustle.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of a different approach in a sense. It's interesting because Annette and I had very similar backgrounds in that. My background, I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, master's degree in social work from Howard University. And I was my last job, I was an outpatient mental health program director for an outpatient mental health clinic. And so I know that life, and I talked about that a lot in the last episode, my journey, but just going from social work and really feeling like I wasn't making an impact, really feeling stuck, getting depressed, feeling like I wasn't making a difference. Although during that time, I never even thought about having my own business, because I was in the space of, I'm here to serve, and this is the work that I've always wanted to do, so I'm gonna find a way to make it work. Until I realized that was just not gonna happen within the system, because I quickly found out that the system was not there to help people heal, but it was simply there to help people to maintain their dysfunction.
Absolutely.
The person who, you know, is a healer, who is a coach, who is a catalyst for people to get clarity and to really be able to change their lives and live the lives that they've always wanted to live, that was not going to work for me. And so I went through my whole journey, my 6-month healing sabbatical of figuring out who I am and how I could best serve before I opened up my business. And so that was my journey. And there's, you know, a lot more in there, but I'm not going to get into all that right now. But I see two things. A lot of my clients now coming in are millennials. And what's interesting about millennials is that they are very much like, Avalaura, I'm trying to live my best life right now. What I got to do. You know, they are very focused. Like, I'm not going to be like my parents. I'm not working a job for 20, 30 years, you know, get my retirement. We don't even have that available to us anymore. Companies aren't even keeping you on that much, you know, that long anymore. Anyway, there is no loyalty, right? So companies don't have any loyalty. And now I'm seeing, especially millennials, they have no loyalties to their company. So they might work there 1 or 2 years, move on and keep moving on like that, because, you know, the feedback that I get and what they tell me is, I'm trying to live my best life right now. I want to live in my purpose right now. I want to make an impact. And I know I'm not going to make that on my job. So how can you help me to transition out of that? Or how can you help me to do more of what I love right now in what I'm doing? And so I see a lot of that. What I also see is, you know, even I'm in here in the DC area, and even though I have clients worldwide, most of my clients earn 6 figures and up. And in the DC area, that's really not hard. And so what I always tell people is, the thing that we have to understand, I'm all for entrepreneurship. I'm all for Black-owned business. I'm all for, you know, people really pulling themselves up by the bootstrap and creating this business and leaving this legacy for their families. I'm also all for people knowing who they are and knowing their limitations. And what I see with a lot of people is that entrepreneurship is a mindset. You can't have a 9-to-5 mindset and move into entrepreneurship. It is not going to work. You are going to fail. You're going to be like, this don't work. I don't know how people do it. You're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to find yourself back in the job.
Right.
I'm saying this as an entrepreneur for the last 14 years, having multiple different businesses. So I'm saying this from experience. And so what I always tell people is, if you do want to transition, if you want your side hustle to become your main hustle, you have to use your job as your stepping stone, use it as your investor, and get on the job training. Get the coaching now, develop that mindset. That is the most important thing. If your mind ain't right, your business ain't tight. I'm trying to tell you, I don't care how much money you spend on branding, how much money you spend on a website, on a logo, setting yourself up looking pretty. If you don't have that entrepreneur mindset, you will fail. It is you're not guaranteed money. You kill what you eat. So you have to adopt that mindset first, get in that flow of understanding that, and then start developing all the tools and the things that you need to be a successful entrepreneur. But it all starts here first.
Absolutely.
So many people want to start a job and they get used to, like you said, and they get used to that paycheck every 2 weeks. It's not like that in entrepreneur. I don't have no paycheck coming every 2 weeks. My paycheck is what I have created for myself, the streams of income that I have created for myself, multiple. And so those are the things that you got to get around first, really understanding how business works, the things that can happen. And then you can start to develop those strategies, and you want to get your income to match at least what you're making now consistently. I would say for at least a 3 to 6 month period of time before you even look at leaving your job. So there's a lot to it. I know everybody thinks it's all pretty and sexy and I can call myself a boss, and I get to work my own hours and all of that. But hell, I end up working a lot harder now as an entrepreneur than I did, before. I'm getting paid well. I love what I do, but I work way harder more. But I want to work harder because I love what I do. But you got to look at all of that first. Don't be all pie in the sky and thinking that this is going to be an easy road for you. It's not easy. That's why so many businesses fail. So you really got to prepare yourself for success before you start your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you make a great point, because I say this all the time, how important it is to leverage your job and all the benefits that come along with it. Because there are benefits like education, getting your certification, where your company will pay for it.
Yeah.
So while you're on the job, you're building up your skills to prepare you to launch your business, or to move from a part-time or side hustle in your business to really full-time in your business, so that you can leave that job, which is a false sense of security. Really, it really is. I can't tell you how many people I've seen just stellar at their job, made the company buku money, and without notice, they were gone. They were let go. And that's a devastating situation to be in. But if you are setting yourself up in advance and positioning yourself, it's a lot less harder of a process to go through. Because like you said, the mindset, there has to be a mindset shift, especially if you don't already have an entrepreneur mindset. We talked about this yesterday. So I'm glad that you said that, because I wanted you to touch on that, to really let's clarify for the audience, what is the difference? Like, when we say that you have to have a different mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur, for you, what does that mean to you?
It actually means that you have to be in the mindset that there is no cutoff time. You finish doing the job. When you work for somebody, you have a shift of 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever it is. When you're an entrepreneur, there's no cutoff time. Like, you work until the job is done, because that's in your mind, you have to understand, this is the only way I'm gonna feed my family when this job is done. So I have to do it until it's done, so my children don't starve. That's always my mindset. My why is so ever in front of me, and my why is my family, right? So either I'm gonna say, I'm gonna work 8 to 5 and I'm gonna cut it off, or I'm gonna say my family need to eat, they need a roof over everything or whatever. So I'm always in that mindset of, I'm doing this because I love the freedom of it, I love the flexibility, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this to be able to provide for my family and to leave a legacy for my family. If I worked at Walmart or anywhere else, I can't leave that to them. If I died, and it's going back to Sam Walton and his family. That has nothing to do with my family. So it's lies that keep me going, but I have to stay focused on that and the reason I got into this in the first place. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, the mindset is that you have to be very comfortable taking a risk. I believe that the greatest risk is believing in yourself and jumping off that ledge onto the skinny branch and taking that faith walk, which is what entrepreneurship is, because there's nothing there to catch you if you fall. You got to be able to catch yourself. And so the mindset is really being comfortable with accepting your situation for what it is and making it work by come hella high water by any means necessary. It's very different when again I'm in DC, so there are a lot of people, and I have a lot of clients who they get paid 6 figures and they don't even have to show up to work. Not everybody. There's some people who are really earning their paychecks, but there's a lot of people out there, they don't even have to show up to work and they gonna make 6 figures, right? They can get in their office, they can sit there, they can play on their computer, they can text people, they can do whatever, and they're still gonna get their paycheck. But in entrepreneurship, you can tell, how you can tell what you're bringing in by the effort and the energy and the impact that you're making with other people. So you can't just sit there and play on your computer and text people and be on the phone and wasting time. When you're an entrepreneur, your time becomes ridiculously valuable because your time is your ability to make that income. And so even if you're making passive income, because you still got to set that up. People be like, oh, passive income, that's great. But you still got to have systems set up in place to create that passive income. So again, that is your time. So when you're an entrepreneur, it's really all about prioritizing your time, what is going to feed you, what is going to help you versus what is just going to be a total waste and what's going to drain you. So you got to really learn how to prioritize. You got to really look at, be very clear about who you are and who you serve and what it is that you're doing. Again, you can't sit there and play games and waste time because that's your money. If I don't earn money today, I have no money. Again, like I said, you eat what you kill. So I gotta say, okay, you know what, today, this is my revenue goal for today. And then by any means necessary, I gotta find a way to achieve that goal. That's on me. That's all on me. There's nobody there pushing me. There's nobody saying, Avalaura, you got to do this, you got to do that. That's what happens when you're your own boss. I have to motivate myself to do those things that are going to meet the goals that I set for myself. So it's very different, being very proactive, prioritizing, and like I said, really valuing your time and your energy. And what I will also say too, because I think Annette said this, is that you also have to be very good at self-care. I talk a lot about self-care, and you have to be very good at boundaries. Because as entrepreneurs, and I'm guilty of this, I'm sitting there, I just remember, Game of Thrones was, watching the last season of Game of Thrones, and my boo was like, what are you doing? I'm over here texting, I'm working. And he's like, get off your phone. And he literally took my phone and threw it. He was like, we're watching Game of Thrones. What are you doing? And so we have to be very good, again, at, taking that time out to say, okay, I know I got a lot of work to do. I know this is important, but I also have to take some downtime for myself. I have to nurture myself. I have to unwind. I have to unplug. So I will be more productive at what I'm doing tomorrow. I can't just beat myself and run myself into a ground, because so many entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We're full steam ahead. And we don't know how to cut ourselves off and just say, okay, enough already. Let me take a break. Because there's again, this ain't a 9 to 5. I mean, I might be working 9 to 9 or 9 to 12 or whatever. It's all on me. So we do have to be really good at setting those boundaries and self-care as well. Because we're creating the rules here, That's what it is. The mindset. You are creating the rules. You are creating the systems. You are the one in charge. So you got to figure out what works for you and then stick with it.
And just as important as the business is, you are just important, because as you said, you are the person that's the business to thrive and move forward. So if you ain't no good, then the business ain't no good either. You got to take time to just put the phone down and no compromise. I'm not answering no calls. I'm not responding to any text messages, because the self-care is the most important part of you being able to thrive. If you're in your right mental space, right physical space, then you're not going to thrive. The business is not going to thrive, because it's all based on you.
That is so true. I was just talking about that the other day. I talk about it quite frequently. So I'm glad all of us are talking about self-care and really putting that in front for all of us. I mean, because I think especially for women and especially for Black women, because we give so much and we give till we're like on empty. And it's like no one's pouring back into us, and we're not taking time for us. It is so necessary. It's not even an option.
Absolutely.
It is necessary for you to function at your highest level so that you can create the highest level of impact for your audience and for your clients and for your customers. So I say that all day is like, that is so important, even down to scheduling it on your calendar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. On your calendar.
Yeah. I mean, my motto is self-care is the best healthcare. And we schedule our meetings, we schedule our appointments for our children, you know, all of those things. But yeah, we don't schedule, okay, let me take a moment to exercise. Let me take a moment to meditate. Let me take a moment to just go take a walk and just, you know, relax. Let me take a nap. Right. All of those things. I schedule that stuff. You know, if I look at my day and I have a lot going on and I feel like I'm drained, I need a boost, I will schedule. I'm like, let me take this 20 minutes, 25 minutes out here and take a quick nap and just, you know, rejuvenate or whatever I have to do. You got to do that for yourself. Self-care is the best healthcare. So if you don't have self-care, you don't have a business, you don't have anything.
Absolutely. And mine is on my schedule first thing in the morning, because if I try to squeeze it into, I get so busy during the day, I'll forget it, you know. So I make sure that that's at the top of my morning. My 4 o'clock alert, like I have an alert at 5 minutes to 4 that says, you know, have a great day. Then 4 o'clock is like, you know, get up, read your scripture and pray. 4:15 meditate. 4:30 exercise, and then after and start dealing with what I have to deal with as far as work and, you know, getting my husband out to work and getting the children off of school and all that. But I have to make that the very first thing that I do in a day, because if not, then I'll leave me completely off my schedule. Completely.
Right. That's so good. These are such good tips, because I did that too. Like someone had recommended, or I was listening to a wealthy person. I think it was a man, but he said that he doesn't take any. He reserves the first 30 minutes after waking up for himself. So prayer, meditation, not picking up the phone, not picking up your cell phone, not checking social media, right? Because all of that, nothing is positive waiting for you anyway. You take that first for you. Usually what you're gravitating towards when you turn on your cell phone, outside of the alerts, is not stuff that you need to be bothered with first thing in the morning anyway. Right. You need to pay attention to yourself, focus on yourself, center yourself, and prepare yourself for a very high-powered, positive day. How you start off in the morning really sets the tone for the remainder of the day. Would you ladies agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. I teach meditation, and a lot of times when I teach meditation at conferences and retreats, is they schedule it first thing, even though I am not a morning person, but they'll schedule it first thing in the morning. They're like, Avalaura, I want you to teach this, you know, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., because that is the start of everybody's day. And that's what we need to really get our day started on a positive note, because you're right. It sets the tone. You know, they say how you start your day is how you end your day. Absolutely right. I mean, you definitely, whatever your practice is, and again, everybody is different. And one of the things that I advocate for self-care is that it is just that it is self.
That's right.
So what works for me may not work for Annette. You know, what works for Annette may not work for Shanté. Like you got to figure that out for yourself. And that's a part of the work of getting to know you and doing that deep dive, or hiring somebody like me to help you to understand who you are and what's going to work best for you. Because a lot of times the things that people are doing, you know, they're saying, well, you know, okay, Avalaura said take a vacation. Avalaura said this, but that's not going to work for you. And I tell people, like, when you practice self-care, you need to have a daily self-care routine. You need to have a weekly self-care routine and a monthly self-care routine.
Absolutely.
Every day, something that you can do to practice self-care. Every week, something that you would do, and something every month. And you have to decide what that's going to look like for you.
That is so good.
That was good.
That is good, because it's not one shoe fits all, right?
No.
And so that's good, because when you have professionals, they can help you. I think if you find out quicker and connect with who you are, why you're here, what you're here to do, it will save you a lot of stress and problems. But many of us, it took us years to get to that place.
Yeah, it did.
And many people never get to that place. How about that?
Right. As a therapist, it actually took me to get to a point of I was almost burned out before I got to this point. You know what I mean? And then I'm practicing it. I'm telling it to other people, like, you have to practice self-care and this, that. But I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. I almost got to a point of burnout before I realized, you know what? You have to actually implement the things that you tell other people to do. This is what got me to this daily routine, So it was, I was almost to the point of burnout.
Yeah. Oh, I was at burnout. I mean, so I think all of us have been there. That's why I talk about self-care. That's why I appreciate having you all talk about self-care and really putting that out there, because a lot of people aren't talking about it. And look, stress is a silent killer.
It is.
Stress is a silent killer. So forget about your business. Your business can't operate if you're not going to be here, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if you're not in a healthy place, so if you're unhealthy in your mind, if you're unhealthy in your body, all of that is going to have an impact on your business. Absolutely. So I try to help other women understand that is true. I mean, that was the case for me when I was drained and empty, and I was just like, that was it. So I had to go into a quiet place, eliminate all distractions. I'm still in this place. In a place of transition, a place of focusing on Shanté and not caring for everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. I was like a lot of us Black women, we're the go-to person. And I just had to tell them, like, I'm the go-to for everything. I'm the counselor. I'm the funding. I'm the funder. Like, they literally think I'm a bank, right? Mm-hmm. So I am the teacher. I'm the leader. I'm the everything. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I can't do that anymore. Like, I literally have to take time for Shanté and focus on me, my care, and what my purpose is. Because you could be doing a whole lot of things, taking care of a whole lot of people, answering to all of these different things that you're not called to. And all of that will drain you because you people. But you weren't called to help these people. And I know I'm so given, and it's hard sometimes, but I have to pull myself back, because if I'm not called to it, what is not going to empower me is going to literally drain the life out of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so deep. Yeah, for those of you, watching, if you're on Facebook, I mean, check out my Facebook post. Like, it is talking exactly about what we're talking about right now. And I'm not going to go into the whole post, but one of the things that I said in one of my favorite quotes is that givers have to set limits because takers rarely do.
Yes.
And most Black women, we're high powered, we are leaders, we are givers, and we're the ones we feel like we have to do it all. If we don't do it, nobody else can do it the way that I can. I can't even leave my husband to take care of his own child because he is not going to dress him or take care of him the way that I will do it. He can't wash the dishes because he won't wash them the way that I do it. And we burn ourselves out trying to do everything, and we get mad and we get resentful because we're like, well, everybody's looking at me to do it. But that's you, because you taught them to do that. You taught them that you're the only one that can do it. They can't do it right, or they can't help you at all. So now they look for you to everything, and now you resentful because nobody tries to step up and help you because you done told them you don't need their help. How many times? They're not going to try to help you anymore. Mm-hmm. So that's on us.
That's on us. Right.
How to treat you. So givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. So you realize before you get to burnout, because that's what happens. Most of us burn ourselves out and then we make a change. But before that happens, you start to look at when you are in the process of burning out, right? Like I say, overwhelm happens before the burnout. So recognize when you're in overwhelm so you can start to make changes then, so you never have to get to burnout. But then you start to look at, how can I set limits? How can I, start to get help over here? How can I get help at home? How can I get help in my business? How can I get help with my health? All of these different things that are important, because ultimately it's on us. It is our responsibility. And that goes back to the entrepreneur mindset that we talked about. When you're an entrepreneur, it is on you. So you are responsible for you. So if you have a problem with something, you got to look at you and say, okay, how did I create this? And how can I discreate this?
Right. Right.
Yes.
And learn the power of the word no. Like, you have to grow comfortable with that. And a lot of us don't like to say no because we don't like the people to think a certain way of us or people to be mad. I just got to the point where I don't care. I just don't care. You know, I'm gonna tell if it does not align with my purpose, if it does not align with my timing, if I can't do it, if it's going to be uncomfortable, if it's going to compromise with anything, I'm going to say no. And no is a complete sentence. I don't want to explain it. I don't want to make you feel comfortable with it. It's just no. And I'm okay with it. And I've gotten to that point over the last year and a half, maybe 2 years or whatever. I've really gotten comfortable with just no. I'm not. So we have to get comfortable with that as women because we feel like as women we're responsible for this and we have to do this and we can't say no and this that. No is not a masculine term. It's a universal term. It's to your advantage, women. So I encourage us to do.
I love that. And we have an audience member who says that she needs to find a way to fit in self-care, that she's so involved with so many things. She loves what's happening and don't really know like what to do. Like you have to schedule it. You have to put yourself first. All of these other things should not be your highest priority. You should be your highest priority.
Absolutely. And in a 24-hour time frame, there's no way that you should ever be able to honestly look at yourself and say, I can't factor you into this. You should never. You look at yourself in the mirror, working with a 24-hour time frame, and be able to honestly tell yourself that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything that you're saying is correct. And, she's saying she has to do more of it. And I hear this all the time. And, what I say to my clients sometimes is like, okay, don't schedule it and see what happens.
Right.
You don't want to time for it. Don't schedule it and see what happens. See what the alternative is. Because what I know about life is that you find a way to deal with life or it will find a way to deal with you.
Absolutely.
You be proactive and figure it out and do the work and take the time to do it, or allow life to happen and then get into a situation where now it is not your choice, but you have to do it.
Yes. You're right. Okay, so with that, and we're talking about productivity and time and prioritizing, and we briefly mentioned, one of you mentioned about systems. So I really wanted to talk about that because I think it's so important to building a foundation, a strong foundation when you're launching a business, as well as scaling your business. So from your experience and your perspective, let's talk about systems and how important they are for us to be able to have successful businesses. Because I even heard you talk about, Annette, about how you have your alarm set up when we're talking about self-care and time for yourself. And that's why I say we have smartphones and we're not using them for their smart capability. And I say that all the time. I'm like, we're missing appointments. You're not showing up. You're not following through. And I'm like, you have a smartphone. You're paying all that money for a tool that can, instead of allowing it to work for you, you're not using it strategically. So I like how you said how you use your alerts and alarms to really keep you on schedule for your self-care, to pay attention to and to prioritize. So let's talk about systems and tools that we can use and what you use to help you be successful in business and how others can do the same.
So I wish I had known about systems and tools when I first started being an entrepreneur, right? Because my business would be so much further had I known about the tools that I use, even as far as like Zoom to hold pre-recording a one stream to like pre-record videos, all that type stuff or whatever, right? So it's a ton of tools that I use as far as like for making sure that I stay on task with assignments, scheduling them in Asana, all of those tools that I use, MailChimp, landing pages, all of that type stuff. I was doing everything myself initially, right? Physically hosting grant writing classes, just everything. Everything I had to be very for, right? And it gets to be overwhelming when you have to be absolutely everything, right? But once I realized the tools that and again, most of the tools I just learned about in like the last 2 years, right? So this 7 years of me physically doing a whole lot of stuff or whatever, right? Learned about tools within like 2 years or whatever, started implementing in my business. And a lot of my business requires for me to be present once, right? To record whatever session it is, and then now I can sell it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? But I don't have to be present every time that goes forth in order for me to generate income. So we're working on implementing a lot more into my particular business where I can be less hands-on in some areas and allow me to be more hands-on in other areas because I'm automating a lot, right? But if I had known this a long time ago, yeah, my business would be a whole lot further, which is a lot of things that I'm teaching my clients now. But they get started where I am now in about 10 years, they're so much further than I am on a 10 years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur almost 9 now. But if I had known then what I know now, I would be a whole lot further. So I'm helping them to learning curve. You know, the things that I know now, I'm teaching it to them at the beginning so that they're not 10 years down the line in the same place where I am. But yeah, definitely there's so much technology, so many tools out there now where, excuse me, being successful in business is really, is really up to you at this point. There's no reason to not be successful in business if you implement the different tools and the resources that are available to us as entrepreneurs. It's very it's time consuming, but it's way more reach to run a successful business than it was back in the days.
Yeah, I agree with Annette. You know, I'm 14 years in, and a lot of this stuff wasn't even around and for me to even know about it. But I wish that I had known. I mean, I definitely know that I did the right thing. And like I said, before I even started my business, I got the coaching, I got my coaching certification, counseling, did all of that. And, you know, what I recommend to my clients, I always recommend is you start with the life coaching. You start with that first, and then you move into business coaching. And I wish that I had done that sooner. So I did all the inner work, and then what I missed out or what I didn't do was get the business coaching after I had done that. And I wish that I had done that sooner, because then there were certain systems and things that I would have put in place in my business sooner, rather than learning through the school of hard knocks. Because I am very hands-on in my business. I am definitely working to automate more because I am my business. You know, when people contact me, they want to work with me. And I'm okay with that, because that is how my business is set up. You know, you have some people that say you shouldn't be the brand of your business. They should be able to work with anybody. That's how my business is set up. I get that. Maybe one day I'll train people to be like mini me's and they'll work with them. I don't know. But for right now, that's how it is. But what I have found is the best way to clone myself is to set up those automation tools so that I can be in more places at the same time. So you see me posting something on social media, people DMing me thinking I'm on social media. That was scheduled. I'm not on social media. I'm not on there at 6 a.m, 8, whatever. You know, I'm out and about doing my thing, but I use Buffer, you know, or something like that to schedule it out. Or my VA is behind the scenes doing things. So it's not all me. So I am working now, actually in the middle of, setting up, even though I have a funnel set up, setting up some additional funnels for my business so that they are more automated and run, again, while I'm behind the scenes, while, you know, maybe I'm speaking over here at this event, or, you know, doing this workshop over here, or working with the client, or sitting back and practicing my self-care, but it's still going. So tools are just so important, and there's so many tools out there. And I would say that like coaching helped me with that. Just give my own personal coaching, because again, we get overwhelmed with the tools as entrepreneurs. There's so much stuff out there and you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. Again, I always say that if you do the personal coaching first, one of the things that you can start to do is look at your business as a reflection of your lifestyle, so that you are not creating a business that does not work for you. You know, some people want to be an Oprah where they have this amazing big business and they're managing all these people. I learned a long time ago with myself, even though I'm a good manager, I'm great with people, I don't want to manage nobody. I don't want to have a bunch of employees. I got 2 VAs right now. I'm happy with that. I don't want to manage anybody. I want a lifestyle business where I can pack up and go. Like I'm going to Spain for our, the women's retreat that I'm hosting in October, and I'm gonna spend probably another week or 3. So I might be in Europe for 2-3 weeks. I want to be able to do that and not worry about what's going on over here. So you got to look at who you are. What is your lifestyle? What do you want to create? And then you can create your business based on that so that it works for you and it doesn't become a burden or it doesn't become a hindrance. Because a lot of people are trying to create business models that don't even work for them.
Right.
That is so good. I was just talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. So that is so important that you think about look at the long game. What do you want? Where do you see yourself? And I said that too. Like, I want to travel. I'm setting myself up where I want to be traveling in 2020. Right. So you have to look at that. Do you want employees? Do you want like a corporation, right? A building and have all the responsibility, or do you just want to be able to pick up and work wherever you are with your laptop or your iPad or whatever, right? So you have to, I think, learn that. I think learning that early on, again, learning about like exactly who you are, what you want, the earlier in the process will save you a whole lot of time and money.
Absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that is so good. Okay, so we talked about the side hustle. We talked about some systems. Before we close out, one of the things I really want to talk about, because this is something that I am passionate about, and that's collaboration and partnership. So I wanted to get your ladies' perspective on how important do you think it is for Black women entrepreneurs to collaborate and partner together? Do you think it's just a fad term, or do you think it's something that's really necessary for us to really break past all of these barriers that we keep limiting saying that's out there that's limiting us, or do we use it to break past these barriers and really rise up as women in our businesses and create the lives that we want to live?
I think that partnership is very, very, very important. Reason being is because, partnerships gives us cross promoting opportunities, right? So let's just say the 3 of us would share each other's posts on our page, right? I don't do guided meditation. Avalaura does, you know what I mean? She teaches meditation, so she would have it like her friends are not my friends. We probably don't have any common friends, you know what I mean? So at this rate, if I have a pool of 3,000 Facebook friends, she has a pool of 3,000 friends. You know what I mean? Like some of the services that I offer, she doesn't. Some of the services she offers, I don't. If we're cross promoting at this rate now, we both have exposure to 6,000 people, my 3,000 and her 3,000. You know what I mean? So it gives you way more opportunities than if you were continuing to try to do it on your own. Because if I continue just to try to do it on my own in my lane, then I still just have exposure to 3,000 people. You know, but cross promoting, I mean, it's not gonna take it. I just don't get the mindset of I don't want to expose people to my XYZ, because you can't take whatever God has for me. It's allocated for me. He's not gonna steal it from me to give it to you because I promoted what you have. No, I just don't believe that. I believe that that's what we are all here for, like to share, to help promote one another, whatever, because God has, whoever's allocated to us is allocated to us no matter what. He don't have a case of mistaken identity. So he's not going to give my business or my business to her. It's just not going to happen. But it helps us to get a lot further, because that's 3,000 people that I don't have access to unless she shares it, or 3,000 people she won't have access to unless I share it. So I think that level of partnership is very important for all of us to grow our businesses. We saw from last week with the Chick-fil-A and Popeyes battle. We were sharing it. We talking about the sandwiches, this is that or whatever. Some people had lines out the wazoo, as if Chick-fil-A needed any more promotion. Like anytime you go there, if I drive past that right now, they got a line wrapped around the corner. They didn't need any more promotion from us, and neither did Popeyes. Got it. And from that, Popeyes got about $30 million just from us cross-promoting, talking about a chicken sandwich. So how much more effective we can be for businesses if we talk about each other's business, right? Very, that partnership, that cross-promoting, very important to grow everybody's business. And there's room for everybody at the table. Ain't no shortage of food. When you get to the shortage of food, no shortage of resources. I'm not going to take away from you to do that for your sister and their business.
Yeah, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a raving fan of sisterhood. I am a firm believer in that, and that maybe, you know, I'm one of 3 children. I'm the oldest. Like I am a raving fan of, you know, community and sisterhood and supporting each other, and also countering the narrative that Black women are running around like Real Housewives of Atlanta or Basketball Wives. Like, we don't roll like that. I don't know women like that. I'm sorry, I just don't. They're not in my circle. I didn't go to Howard with them. I don't know where these women exist. And so I think that I do, however, I will say that, you know, and this is a whole another discussion, you know, women, because we're emotional beings, I do think that a lot of times we hold on to things that we need to let go of. And sometimes our emotions prevent us from working with someone as effectively as we could. And again, that's on you, you know. And so I talk a lot about that in terms of, you know, conflict resolution and problem solving and boundaries and being able to understand and own your emotions and know how to work with them and release them. That is a whole process. It's a whole system, and most of us aren't taught that. So a lot of times that is preventing us from really working with somebody when it really would help us, because of what we're holding on to has nothing to do with them. It's because of our beliefs and our feelings about something, and not being able to let that go and be able to see things a little bit more clearly. So I do absolutely believe in collaborations. Most of the things that I do are collaborations. I believe that is one of the best ways to clone myself. So the retreat that I'm doing in Spain, the Black Women Leaders Retreat, my first retreat, I did not take that on before now because I wanted a good partner, because I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I knew I didn't have the capacity to do it. And so I met a woman who, she was phenomenal. We had similar visions. Now we're doing this retreat, and I'm really excited about it. We're doing it this October, and I really believe it is going to be even more successful than I ever would have imagined. And I have a partner who I'm working with on it, and we also have an event planner who's behind the scenes doing all the logistics. And it's been a lot of work, but it's been manageable because I took on those collaborations. You know, when I do a lot of the events that I do, my crown jewel event, my head wrap event, I have a partner who works with me on that. So I try to partner wherever I can so that, again, I can clone myself. All the responsibility is not on me, but it allows me to be able to have the capacity to do more in my business and thus make a bigger impact.
That is so good. And that is so true. So audience, I hope you got those tips, because we have dropped a lot of great nuggets here for you today. Why do it alone? Why stay on the struggle bus, right? You can get so much more accomplished. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Partner up with other ladies that have the same goals that you do. Find other like-minded, driven ladies to work with. And so she serves an example. I serve as an example that I do this on a regular basis, and Annette serves as an example that you can take this and run with it and go collaborate and partner up. That is the way to do it. That is the way to grow without overburdening yourself. Like, who wants to put all the burden on themselves? And then you share in the reward. You share in the reward. And you're creating impact and more income for yourself. So ladies, we're getting ready to wrap up, but I wanted you to provide at least one tip for Black women entrepreneurs and how they can build a legacy for themselves and their family.
The thing that I anybody that approaches me, like, identify your God-given gift. Because we all, talents is the things that you learn, right? So we all have talents. We all learn, somewhere along the way how to cook. We'll learn how to clean up. We'll learn how to bake. We'll learn how to do a lot of different things. So talents, you'll get that along the way in life. But your purpose is what you were born to do. So when you honor your purpose, that thing, because you're passionate about it, even if you want to sit, if you want to quit, because it gets overwhelming, you won't, because it's what you were called to do. It's always going to tug at you some kind of way. It's always going to be with you, right? So it's the thing that you're going to do that won't feel like work, like you're working, but it won't necessarily feel like work. So once you honor that and recognize whatever that is, also recognize that God said the gift will make room for you. So now that there are streams of revenue attached to it so that you can leave a legacy and work in the thing and generate income and make a living. And, you know, all those things are assigned to the gift once you identify it. So take time to identify the thing that you were called and created to do, and then figure out how to create it into a business and monetize it. So I always encourage people just to identify the gift.
Yeah, I agree with Annette. I mean, again, it does start with, that's why I do the inner work. It starts with the inner work. It starts with knowing who you are and what you're about and what you are called to do and figuring out a way to do that. The other thing that I would absolutely say, and I spend a lot of time helping my clients with this. So, if this is something that you're really interested in, please contact me. You can go to avalaura.com to set up a consultation. Let's talk. But it's really important. But I would say the next thing, because a lot of women don't think about this and don't realize this, is that whatever you're doing right here in this moment, you have children, you have people around you who are looking to you, you are setting the example. Mm-hmm. And so whatever it is that you're talking about doing, you got to understand that people are not listening to what you're saying. They're watching how you're living your life.
Absolutely.
You're talking about really leaving a legacy. Your legacy is built on the actions and the things that you have done with your time while you are here on this earth. So don't just talk about it. You got to practice what you preach. You can't just be sitting there talking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm thinking about this. You have to do it. You have to absolutely do it. You have to take inspired action. And unfortunately, we live in a culture right now where it's sexier to just hoard information. We got a lot of people, I'm on this webinar, I'm going to this retreat, I'm reading this self-help book, but you're not implementing the things that you're actually learning into your life. You're not actually taking action. Mm-hmm. You got to take action. You got to implement. So if you want to leave a powerful legacy, you got to take all these things that you're learning and you got to implement it into your life. And if you can't figure out how to do that, then you need to get help to figure that out. Because I don't care how much you know. I don't care how much you've learned. I care what you're actually doing and what I'm seeing and the impact that you're creating.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that is so important. So I wrote that down. I'm going to be posting that later. But implementation is so key. So a lot of times we get stuck. We're stuck in planning mode. We plan the plan and more planning of more planning, right? So on that, take what you know, take what you have learned, and actually put them into actionable steps. Make a step towards implementing, and get the help you need. So if that's the area you're challenged in, reach out to a coach like Avalaura. Reach out to Annette to help you with that process to launch and to be able to scale and to be able to put actions in place that are going to help you leave a lasting legacy. So I want to thank you ladies again, Avalaura and Annette, for coming on. I will have them make sure that they leave their information in the comments so that you can get in contact with them. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your questions that you posed today. Avalaura and Annette, just real quickly, just remind everyone what your business is and where they can reach you.
My business is Go Getter LLC. I can be reached on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Annette Go Getter Morris. On Instagram, I'm the same. Either Go Getter University is my business page or Annette Morris. And also my website is www.goalgetterforever.com. Again, www.goalgetterforever.com. So if you are a woman looking to convert your passion to purpose or passion to profit, also needing mental health coaching, I am the person that you want to give a call to, and we'll schedule an initial consult just to see where you are and if I am the person that can help you or if I need to refer you to someone else. So reach out to me. Thank you all for having me today. Thank you, Shanté, for even hosting this and having this platform for us. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Avalaura?
I'm Avalaura, your life coach and intuitive consultant, CEO of Avalaura's Healing Center. And I help you from whole to wholeness in your life, your relationships, your business, and your career. And so if you realize you are stressed out, you're feeling stuck, you're lacking focus, clarity, motivation, you are overwhelmed, you got so much going on, but you know that you have a big dream inside of you and you want to make an impact. You don't want to just live this humdrum, walking dead life of going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home, and you really want to change all of that so that you can live fully, then you want to contact me. I am the only Avalaura. I am Googleicious. You literally type Avalaura, I will pop up. You'll see me in my hair wrap. So you can go to avalaura.com. You can find me on all social media. I am on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. And, just holler. Let's talk. Let's have a consultation. And let's talk about how we can really change your life and get you moving in the right direction.
Awesome. So, ladies, you have been tuning in to the Biz Talk Live Show, where we broadcast live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week, we bring you a brand new, phenomenal entrepreneur to share their stories, to share their journeys with you, to inspire and empower you. If you would like to be a guest on our show, I invite you to sign up, right? You can go to bit.ly, Biz Talk Live Show, to apply. We also have an upcoming Success Summit. It's a virtual summit especially for our Black women entrepreneurs. So we invite you to register. Tickets are on sale. If you would like to be a sponsor for the event, we invite you as well. You can go to bit.ly, BWP Success Summit 19. Again, bit.ly, BWP Success Summit 19. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come back for the replay and we will engage you after the show. Have a wonderful day and continue to pursue your dreams. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.